Boards, bricks, and sticks. Welcome back to Sound the Siren. I'm Xavier.
I'm Dylan. Welcome back. It's been a long period of time since we last released an episode that was just both of us talking and sitting down. And I believe it was the AFL Grand Final review. Today, we're going to look at the NBA awards and rank every NBA team's season. The preseason begins tomorrow, the season next week, and boy, am I excited. Zave, you want to kick us off or mention anything before we start?
Just that I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I think this year, everyone talked about last year being so even, but I think a lot of the teams sort of had issues. We know Kevin Durant was injured. Kyrie Irving ended up being injured. The Warriors, they were decimated. We know the Clippers had their issues, but I think this year is actually going to be so even all across the board. I can see so many teams getting better and so many teams coming back from injury as well. But I think we should start it off with Coach of the Year. And my three finalists for Coach of the Year, Steve Nash, Frank Vogel, and Mike Malone. And I think I'm going to give the award to Steve Nash but I think all three of them are going to be close. Mike Malone, I think the Denver Nuggets will have, probably unpopular opinion, but I think they'll have the best record in the whole league. Their team's really deep. I know they've lost a few players, but Bol is going to get better. Michael Porter Jr. is going to get better. And I really like the addition of RJ Hampton. They picked him up later on in the draft, but he played in Australia where we live, obviously. And he was really good. Just got injured playing in the NBL. And I think he'll be good for them. And I think their whole team's going to get better.
Yeah, my Coach of the Year candidates, same minds think alike, I guess. I've got Frank Vogel, Steve Nash, and Mike Malone as well. And my winner is Steve Nash as well. So I could say I copied you, but honestly, you said everything that I was going to say. So next award, what would you like to get to?
Rookie of the Year. Do you want to go first with this one?
Sure. So my Rookie of the Year candidates, it's basically the top three picks. I've been a bit boring. LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman, and Anthony Edwards. But my winner, I'd like to think James Wiseman wins. I love watching him, his highlights, and I'd love to see what he brings to the plate for the Warriors. And they're severely, or not severely underrated, but I think they're going to be top four, top five team, and they could surprise everyone. But yeah, I think I've got James Wiseman winning this one, Zay.
I've got LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, same as you, but then I've got Obi Toppin. So I didn't have your winner in my top three, and I think for some of the reasons that you said he should win it, I think the Warriors are going to be really good this year, and they're going to have a lot of scoring options that are going to take priority before James Wiseman, for example, Steph Curry, obviously, and Wiggins and Oubre, even Draymond are still going to get their points. So while I think James Wiseman is the most talented player in the draft and could be the best, perhaps. I think I'm going to have to go LaMelo Ball to win it for me because he's playing in Charlotte, going to have all the opportunities, and he could be really good this year.
And James Wiseman, that's just me expecting if he starts and has 25, 30 plus minutes a game. So who was your winner, sorry, Zave? LaMelo Ball?
LaMelo Ball. Big fan as well, obviously.
Oh, I know you are. The Defensive Player of the Year, would you like to kick us off?
My three finalists were Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. These three, I think, normally the Defensive Player of the Year goes to the best defender on the best defensive team, and I think the Bucks might get it again, but I don't think the narrative is working in the favor of Giannis anymore. I mean, he's been knocked out of the playoffs twice, and I think you might see this in my MVP voting as well. That pushes him down a little bit, but obviously he's still a good chance because he's such a good defensive player, but I'm going to give it to Anthony Davis because the Lakers, I think they got a little bit worse on the defensive end this year, they're still great. They picked up Wesley Matthews, who's going to be a great defender for them. And the narrative is in his favor after winning the championship and not winning the award, coming second. And then Joel Embiid was my third option because he's such a great defender. He's going to get 2 blocks a game and is on probably what I think could be the best defensive team in the league this year.
My Defensive Player of the Year candidates as well, Anthony Davis, Giannis, and then I've gone with Bam Adebayo. Great season in the bubble, so 8 games plus his playoff run. But my winner, Anthony Davis as well. He's just such a presence for that Lakers team, and even with Montrezl Harrell around, I think he can maintain his consistency.
Yeah, Bam would have been my fourth if there was a fourth option. But do you want to do most improved, Dylan?
Sure, this one's a very broad pack of players, I guess you could say, because I don't know, there were so many options, but the three I've gone with, Jamal Murray, O.G.Anunoby and Gilgeous-Alexander. I know you're a big fan of OG and Shea, but my winner has to be Jamal Murray. I guess he's already improved from the bubble, maybe a different atmosphere, but hopefully this year he can average 25 plus and produce good numbers for that Denver team, as you said, which could be a dark horse, I guess, for a playoff contender.
Yeah, as you said, this one's such a broad one. There's not any like clear standouts. It's more like who you think's gonna take that leap. If you follow me on Instagram as you do, I've released my top six for each award, and for the most improved, I released the top eight, and I even put in an honorable mention because it's just too hard to narrow it down. But if I had to narrow it down to three, I'd give Christian Wood, Larry Markkinen, and Lonzo Ball. Big fan of all three, but I think I'd have to go Christian Wood just because after the Pistons traded Andre Drummond to the Cavs, obviously he took a big step like after the All-Star break and after that trade. He scored more. He got like 30-point games. He was getting 10 rebounds on the regular. And I think at the Rockets, between him and Boogie, whoever gets the starting role or whoever gets more minutes is going to take a big leap this year, I think.
And we know a Pistons fan who was distraught when he was traded, so shout out to Brandon. Also, with the most improved player, I think someone who is underrated is Norman Powell. Along with OG on that Toronto team, he can potentially come runners up or maybe even third or even win it, depending on how many minutes he plays, which is similar to some of the other players. The next award is the Sixth Man of the Year. Save?
My top three is a bit of an interesting one. I've got Derrick Rose, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Danilo Gallinari. And I'm going to give it to Danilo Gallinari. And I don't know if he's going to come off the bench purely because he hasn't done it before and he's such a good player. But I think the Hawks put out a statement saying that he was going to come off the bench and John Collins would be starting in front of him alongside Clint Capella. And if he does come off the bench, I find it pretty hard to believe that he wouldn't win it. Like he was a 20 points per game scorer last year. Shoots the ball so well, scores off the dribble. So I think I'm going to have to give it to him if he does, in fact, come off the bench.
I think you'll find my winner surprising. So my candidates, I have Dennis Schroeder, Derrick Rose, and Carmelo Anthony. And you know what, Melo, if he does play the sixth man, I'd see him potentially winning it. Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't know. I just feel like he can produce solid numbers off the bench.
I did have Schroeder in probably third place. However, that he said himself it wasn't actually the team. There was a bit of controversy when he said that he talked about a starting role when he was signing his contract with the Lakers or getting traded to the Lakers. And if that's the case and he wants to start and the team wanted him to start, then obviously I wouldn't have had him. But it'll be interesting. I think he will start, but I think they'll stagger his minutes with LeBron and AD, obviously, not to play them at the same times.
Now the big one, the MVP. My three candidates: I have Luka Doncic. I know, only his third year. Giannis and LeBron James. And LeBron nearing to the end of his career, or going on that downward, not spiral, but that downward peak. And you know, I think he's just going to be motivated even more with the team around him. And I think I've got him to win the MVP. But I wouldn't be surprised if Giannis does again, obviously. Even James Harden. But yeah, LeBron, I know you'll be happy with that selection.
Yeah, my top three, I had Luka as well, I had LeBron as well, and I had Kevin Durant coming off his injuries. LeBron, he's going to have the narrative even more in his favor this year after winning the championship. Kevin Durant, he's going to have a narrative, coming back. And Luka, so young, only his third year. But geez, I think Luka's the real deal. He's my pick to win MVP. To be honest, I wasn't such a big fan of him, and I didn't think he was that good until I watched him in the playoffs. And his first round was incredible. The first round against the Clippers, he was incredible all series, and he's my winner.
Yeah, the way he's able to navigate to the rim and just put in some circus shots and draw fouls, yeah, it's unreal. So just a short little episode on the return of the Sound the Siren podcast after a month hiatus. Next episode, we will have the tier maker. We rank all 30 teams NBA season based on off-season moves and what we see in the future for them. So I hope you enjoy, and we'll catch you next time.